The Nitecore P40. What exactly is this flashlight? It's an ultra long throw dual beam flashlight that's great for search and rescue, law enforcement, military, patrolling, and hunting. It has a maximum output of 2,000 lumens, a maximum throwing distance of 2,900 meters, which is equivalent to 9,514 feet or 1.8 miles. And it also has a max intensity of 2,130,800 candela and a max runtime of 20 hours. And throwing out those 2,000 lumens is a single Class 1 LEP white laser and 5 LEDs that make up the floodlight. It has 3 different lighting modes: a floodlight mode, a spotlight mode, and a mixed light mode. And it also features 4 different brightness levels: low, mid, high, and turbo. And controlling those brightness levels are 3 buttons, a power switch at the tail, and 2 side buttons. It ships with a 3.6 volt, 5500 milliamp hour 21700 battery that can be charged via the 18 watt USB-C fast charging port on the outside of the body, or it can be slot charged if you have a slot charger. It takes right around 2 hours and 20 minutes to fully charge from 0 to 100. The body's made from an aluminum alloy and has a Type 3 hard anodized finish, and it has a dust and waterproof rating of IP68. The 6 means it's completely dustproof, and the 8 means it's submersible in up to 6 feet of water, and has a 1 meter impact resistance. Alright, let's talk dimensions. It has a length of 7.32 inches and a head diameter of 2.64 inches. Alright, let's weigh this bad boy. Put it right there on the scale. Comes in at 13.7 ounces, and in grams, that's 390 grams. And yes, I am weighing it with the battery in it. And the P40 is a really interesting flashlight. And let me give you guys a nice close-up of this aluminum body right here with the Type 3 hard anodized finish. Typical Nitecore quality right here. Everything feels high quality here. Everything you'd expect from a Nitecore flashlight at this price range. And now let's take a look right down the barrel there, so you can easily see those 5 LEDs that make up the floodlight right there at the bottom. And you can see the reflector that's basically only for that floodlight. Let me see if I can get in a little bit closer so you can see that reflector better. It is not a smooth reflector, as you can see. There is some texture to it. And I'm going to bring in another flashlight so you guys can see inside of the P40 here. So that is such an interesting design that they have on the inside. And pushed way back there in that optical lens is that Class 1 LEP white laser. I thought the internals of the P40 was really interesting. That's why I wanted to give you guys a nice close-up of the inside of the P40. But let's move on here. So let's talk about the 3 buttons on the P40. One is right here at the tail. That is the power button. It is a rubberized tail. You can see that is a clicky button. Very nice. And then the other 2 are right here at the side. 1 second. I lost it right here. These dual buttons. That's the A button, and the bottom is the B button. Of course, these 2 buttons control the UI, the brightness levels, and switching back and forth between those 3 modes: flood, spot, and mixed light mode. I'll show you how to do all that a little bit later on in this video. And as I turn it on from the power button down there, you can see that blue LED starts to glow right there in between those A and B buttons. And the P40 does have a battery life indicator right there, and to be honest, it's not a great battery life indicator. To see your battery life, what you have to do is press and hold while the flashlight is off. Press and hold that B button right there, turn it on, and then let it go, and then it should flash, showing you your battery level. It's going to show either a solid blue light, a fast blinking blue light, or a slow blinking blue light based on your battery life. So it's a 3-stage battery life LED, and not my favorite. And on the other side of that A and B button, you're going to see your 18 watt fast charging USB-C charging port right there. And it does have a rubber flap, which is nice. And I already talked about the battery inside, but I'm just going to take it out so I can give you guys a close-up of this battery here. Like I said, it's a 3.6 volt, 5500 milliamp hour, 21700. But also I wanted to show you this. So on the tail cap here, you can see it does not have a spring. And inside, let me just double check. Yeah, you can see no spring inside there either. So even though the P40 doesn't have any springs holding that battery in there, I've had no problems at all losing light when this light gets jostled or banged around or hit or anything like that. Usually that's a concern for me, but only in my tactical flashlights and my EDC lights or search and rescue lights like this, it's not too much of a concern for me. But either or, I've tried banging this light around and dropping it, and I haven't seen any light interruptions at all. All right, now let's talk about the lumens and runtime. You can see at the very top of this data chart, low, mid, high, and turbo. Let's start at low. Floodlight is 100 lumens with a 20-hour runtime. Spotlight is 50 lumens with a 20-hour runtime. And mixed light is 80 lumens with a 20-hour runtime. Now let's go to mid, the sweet spot. Floodlight, 400 lumens with a 4-hour runtime. That sounds fantastic. Spotlight, 200 lumens with a 3-hour and 45-minute runtime. And a mixed light of 300 lumens with a 4-hour runtime. And now high, Floodlight is 800 lumens with a 2-hour and 30-minute runtime. Spotlight, 400 lumens with a 2-hour and 30-minute runtime. And a mixed light of 600 lumens with a 2-hour and 30-minute runtime. And now we go to turbo. Turbo is only available with the mixed light mode, so you can't get a turbo with flood or spot alone. It shows turbo at 2,000 lumens with a 1-hour runtime and a 2,900 meter throw. And you can see the max intensity, the candela on the bottom, all with asterisks next to it. Now, I already know for a fact you're not getting 1 hour of runtime at 2,000 lumens in the P40. I already did my Lumen Test, which you guys will see shortly, and you're not getting 1 hour of 2,000 lumens total, which you guys probably already know that. That is a total runtime from 2,000 lumens all the way until the battery dies. You guys will see in my Lumen Test that I got right around 2 minutes and 45 seconds at about 1,400 to 1,300 lumens max until it stepped down dramatically to about 500 lumens. It's a big jump from that 1,400 right down to 500. It's instant. But don't buy the P40 if you think you're getting 1 hour of runtime at 2,000 lumens. That's not realistic. Now let's quickly go over the UI here. So it ships in mixed light mode. Of course, if you want to turn on the flashlight, just give the power button a single click and it activates the mixed light mode. Mixed light mode is those 5 LEDs along with the class 1 LEP right dead center. And you can see that right there on my desk, that really intense hotspot. And this is at low. Let me just double check. Yeah. That is low. And increasing the brightness level is as easy as pressing the up button right there, the A button. So once I press up, short press all the way to turbo. So there's low, mid, high, and turbo. If you're on low, medium, or high, if you want to reach turbo instantly, just long press the A button right there and it instantly goes to turbo, as you can see. So there's low, press and hold, it goes right to turbo on mid. So that is really nice. You do have instant access to turbo, and it does have a mode memory. So if I put it on medium, turn it off, turn it right back on, it goes right back to medium. Also, it does have a momentary on. If you half press the tail button right there, you can see it has a silent momentary on. That's nice. Now this is where the P40 stands out a little bit when it comes to the UI. It does have a programmable UI, and I'll show you what I'm talking about because it does have a mixed light mode, a floodlight mode, and a spotlight mode. So to reach the floodlight and spotlight mode, when it's on, let me turn it all the way low. If you want to reach the other lighting modes right here, what you want to do is press and hold the B button when it's on. So check this out. Right now it's in mix. So press and hold right there. It just switched from mixed light mode to flood. And then press and hold again. It should go right. There you go, right to spotlight mode. And all I'm doing is pressing and holding that B button to cycle through the 3 different lighting modes here. Now this is where it gets really interesting, at least to me. Right now it's on low and you can see I left it on that spotlight mode. If I press the A button to go up a level to mid, you can see it still stays on that mixed light. But if I go right back to that B button and press and hold, if I can focus that camera, and I'll go right to flood, I just missed it, right there, flood. If I press backwards to go back to low, it keeps the spotlight mode. Mid, it keeps the floodlight mode. And if I press up one more to high, it keeps the mixed light mode. So basically, you can mix and match your low, mid, and high with the 3 different brightness modes. So it's a totally customizable UI here, and I think that is awesome. So for me, on low, I like to have it on the floodlight mode right here because I like to have a low-level floodlight for when I just need to see something up close and don't really need that intense hotspot. On medium, I put it on the mixed light mode, which is right there, and on high, I like to have the spotlight right there. So there we go. Low is flood, medium is a mixed light, and on high, that intense spotlight mode. And as I mentioned earlier, turbo is always the mixed light mode right there. So once again, I think this is a really interesting approach to the UI for the P40. And if you ever want to reset everything back to default levels, turn the flashlight off, press and hold the A and B button at the same time, and turn on the flashlight from the power button, let it go, it should flash. And now everything is reset back to default, which is the mixed light mode. Now another interesting feature of the P40 is what they call adaptive cruise mode. Adaptive cruise mode automatically adjusts the brightness level based on the angle of the flashlight. So if it's straight up and down like this, it dims all the way to low, and as you raise it, it adjusts the brightness level all the way to turbo. Now this is something that I haven't really used a lot, and I can't really see myself using it because I like to manually adjust the brightness levels myself. I like to have complete control over my brightness levels. Now if that's something you want to try out for yourself and experiment with it, what you want to do is from on, press and hold the A and B button, and then turn off the flashlight. And when you turn it back on, it's in adaptive cruise mode. So up and down, like this, it's at its lowest level, and as I raise it, it will slowly ramp up the brightness level right there. So that's the highest level, and then as I tilt it down, it's at its lowest level. That is a really interesting feature, but like I said, I'm not really sure if it's for me. And before I go outside and do the beam test, I want to show you exactly what came with the P40. Check out the box that it came in. Very nice product shot on the front. And there's the back right there. It's a big box, so I'll put that off to the side. And check out the holster that it comes with. I usually don't like holsters, but this isn't bad. It's a hard nylon, as you can see, with the Velcro flap right there in the front and Velcro for the belt loop on the back. So as far as holsters go, this isn't bad. It comes with a couple spare O-rings right here, a lanyard right there, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a user manual right there, some QR codes to Nitecore socials, and some safety information. Also, something I just noticed as I'm charging the P40 to go outside, because right now it's still warm and I wasted a lot of the battery showing all these tests and everything with the heat test and my Lumen test, but it's charging right now, and if I try to turn it on, you can see it does not act as a pass-through. So I know a lot of you guys like that, but the P40 does not have a pass-through while you're charging it. And you can tell it's late November in Buffalo, New York. So let me turn this on. So I'm going to start out in flood mode. So this is low in flood mode. I just want to give you guys a nice idea of the different lighting levels. And, you know, once again, I apologize for the snow. Nothing I can do about it. Like I said, this is late November, Buffalo. Not perfect weather here, but we do have seasons. So this is low. mid, and I really like the flood mode in the P40 here. You can see how nice and evenly spread that beam is. So there you go. Let me show you guys right there without blinding you. That's mid. And there is high. So there is no turbo in flood mode, but this is the highest level in flood. And once again, like I said, it's pretty floody. If I hold the flashlight still, very nice, evenly spread flood mode. That is pretty nice. But let's move on to spotlight. Actually, yeah, let's do the spotlight mode first before I do mix light. I got to pause the video, reprogram it. Actually, let me do it right here just to show you guys how easy it is. So let's start on low, press and hold for spot, press up, press down, there's spot, press up, press down the program, and there we go. All right, so let's start on low. Wow, look at that tree right there. So this is low, and I'll put up the distance between me and that tree right there and me and the barn. And holy crap, that is a laser beam even on low. So let's go to mid, and that LEP, class 1 LEP right there, that is a laser, a white laser. If you guys are looking for a search and rescue flashlight, or just, you know, something for hunting to be able to see extremely far away, this can see up to 1.8 miles away. Now that's almost impossible to demonstrate here because, you know, how am I going to do that? We've got this tree line. Actually, I'm going to go right over here. There's a little break in the tree line right there, and there's a barn on the other road back there. I'm going to see if I can hit that barn. And there's high. So low, mid, high right there. So easily hitting those trees back there. And you guys can see this is literally a spotlight. It is insane what these lasers can do. But like I was saying, if you guys are in search and rescue hunters, you all should have an LEP in your collection somewhere if you guys hunt at night. It's an absolute must in my opinion. And there you go. You can see that intense hot spot right there on the snow. That's crazy. That is crazy. So I'm going to pause it this time and go to the mix light mode. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. This is mix light mode. So it's a mix of that spotlight and floodlight, the LEP and the 5 LEDs right there. See that tree? And you can see the nice flood. So I do like the mix light mode, especially if you want to see in your close vicinity, but also be able to see far away. The mix light is what you want. So this is low. All right. Let's go to high. Sorry, medium. Duh. Right there. See that barn, easily see it. This is my pile of dirt that seems to never get smaller. And let's go to high right there. Boom. There is high in mixed light mode. And we can actually show turbo now because turbo is only mixed light. So I'll push up one more time for turbo. There is turbo. The full 2,000 lumens, the full 2,900 meter throw. Now, you get it right around, I don't know, what was it, 2 minutes and 45 seconds in this mode? And I want to get over there to this section right over there and show you guys if it can hit that barn that's way across the street over there. So I want to save it so it doesn't burn out the battery too much or just get too hot internally, because it will step itself down to about 500 lumens. So hopefully this gives you guys a nice idea of the beam profile here. Intense hotspot in that spotlight mode, obviously, and the floodlight mode looks to be fairly evenly spread and wide, so I like it. It's a cool white beam. I don't know, I'm guessing maybe right around 6,000 Kelvin right there. But let's head over there. I'm gonna walk through the snow and head over there and see if I can see that barn. Let's go. All right, guys, I got here and you can see I thought it was more of a clearing here, but yeah, I'm not stepping through this right now. I would love to be able to see through these shrubs right here. I might have to clear this to give ourselves a little bit better view in future videos, because right beyond this, right back there, is a cornfield that, you know, in November, obviously I can see right through there. So that's pretty cool. But from here, I have a different perspective. So if I turn around and turn this back on turbo, you can see how far this thing throws. I mean, obviously this isn't 1.8 miles, but check that out. Yeah, you can easily see the tops of those trees right there. If I'm searching for something, man, you will definitely be able to see it right here, especially on turbo and mixed light mode. But yeah, very, very cool. I apologize about this though. Like I said, maybe in the next few months I can clear out these shrubs and be able to see through there, but I'm not doing that right now because it's cold. I'm going back inside the studio. Oh, and one thing I forgot to show you guys when I was walking back is the adaptive cruise mode. So right now I have it down and it's on low, but as I raise it, check it out, it gets brighter. It might be hard to see on camera there, but yeah, it's definitely brighter. Right there is low, and as I raise it, it goes all the way up, which seems to be turbo. That is really cool. Like I said, this isn't really a mode for me, but you know, some of you guys might like this. For me, I like to manually adjust my brightness levels here. Now, let's go inside. All right, so overall, I think the Nitecore P40 is an awesome searchlight. It's a very versatile flashlight that gives you the ability to switch from spot to flood to mixed light mode and mix and match in the UI based on your lighting needs. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking here. It's really cold outside. I'm trying to warm up. But the fact that I can have floodlight mode on low and a spotlight on mid and a mixed light mode on high, I think is awesome. And being able to see almost 2 miles with the P40 is incredible with that LEP laser. 1.8 miles, great. I'm not really sure about that adaptive cruise mode yet. I'm not sure if it's a gimmicky mode where you can raise it and it gets brighter as you raise it. I'm not really too sure about that yet. It's definitely something I'm not going to use. Like I've said twice or 3 times through this video, I like to manually control my brightness levels. So I can probably do without that mode, but everything else here seems legit. The only thing that I think that will turn some people away is the price. So it's right around $240 for the P40. Yes, that's a premium price tag, but once again, you are getting some high-end features here. Right now, Nitecore is hard to beat with their LEP flashlights with the mix of floodlight LEDs and that LEP laser spotlight mode. I've reviewed a few Nitecore LEP lasers on this channel, and this is right up here with some of the best. All of this in a somewhat compact, I don't really want to use that word compact because it's not small. 7.32 inches is not a small flashlight, but if you think about everything that this can do, I've seen much bigger flashlights that do less. This is not an everyday carry flashlight by any means. This is for search and rescue, law enforcement, patrolling. You put this in a backpack or in your car for when you need it. But overall, I think the P40 is a great choice if you have the money for it. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the Nitecore P40? If you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links down below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I haven't made a video in about 2 months. I've been away working, and usually when I'm working, I don't make videos. So the videos you've been watching have been in my queue for about 2 months, and this is my first video back. It's a flashlight, which is definitely some of the harder videos, more time-consuming videos because of everything that has to go into it. But yeah, hopefully I can get back into it and start making videos on a regular basis. And go!